I'm Orisaey, and well, this is 3D Mario. Which, I'm sure you know, since 1996 have gone from groundbreaking innovations in the third dimension to icons of the genre that still manage to hold up. Wait, how many years later? 29? No wonder Miyamoto's fossilized, Jesus fucking Christ. Either way, on top of their amazing mechanics, movement, and the wild applications of each, their instrumental part in the evolution of video games and the company itself, on top of their die-hard fanbases, quickly made them heavy hitters within the community of speedrunning itself, landing them amongst the top 100 most run games on speedrun.com entirely. And what is this part of the website without some of the most broken and wild AF video games of all time? Well, luckily for us, 3D Mario games are the definition of these two things, so then the question becomes, what console do we start with? Fuck it, we ball, it's N64 time, infinite speed gobber, enough said. And I'm gonna put those splits up there, because it's time to speedrun the many broken and wild AF world records of 3D Mario. Starting the run by beginning a new save and listening to Princess Peach's invitation, our runner watches the opening cutscene as Mario jumps out of a pipe, leading him to long jump as soon as he is actionable and dive across the sliver of this bridge that avoids the trigger of Lakitu's bullshit. Entering Peach's castle and skipping Bowser as he descends into the castle's basement, Luigi hops through the roof and performs a lobby backwards long jump by having said long jumps interrupted by the out-of-bounds geometry, building up enough speed to fly out of bounds and straight into Bowser in the Dark World. Abusing vanishing blocks, well-timed triples, moving platforms, one-way fences, and the level's geometry to grab 8 of 8 red coins, he continues into the first fight against Bowser, utilizing the digital buttons of a separate controller to reliably bomb his ass. Picking up a key and star number 1, our runner jumps back in to reach the lobby and unlock Swamp's Fortress, climbing this tree, landing on this ledge, and turning at the perfect time to line up this jump, clip through the wall, and land cannonless in less than 10 seconds. Climbing this ramp and bouncing past this piranha plant onto the above platform, Luigi wall kicks into this usually inaccessible cage to pull off Owless, before bouncing off the wall to avoid the intended method of Into the Wild Blue. Outside in the foyer, he unlocks the basement with the key from earlier and navigates his twisting tunnels through this wall into shifting sandland. Hopping this wall and skipping across the quicksand to snipe Klepto mid-air, Luigi crosses the pyramid and collects the star, running it back by throwing and catching this bum to clip through the pyramid and simply scaling the structure for 2 more stars. Jumping into Lethal Lava Land, our runner grabs the red coins across Bowser's sliding puzzle, lands in the volcano and shoots up its lava waterfall, puts the 2 L's in Bully and uses well-timed triple jumps and wall kicks to clear this grate, prior to going 3 for 3 on the basement's paintings by entering Hazy Maze Cave. Running straight to the left, he immediately ricochets into Star 12, gets a load of this guy for 13, triples over this box and over this wall to skip Dory and grab the 14th, and actually reaching the end of the same hallway for 1-5. And now that we're 2/3 of the way through the run itself, you might have realized that on top of the door from earlier that required 8 stars to open, there are also 30 and 70 star doors that our runner has to go through in order to round out the remaining 2 Bowser boss fights. But how do you enter them with only 15? Well, this is really where a rabbit and an unintended speed glitch come into play, better known as MIPS and this game's holy grail, the stairs backwards long jump. By reaching the 15-star milestone that unlocks MIPS, Luigi catches the bastard, skips his star, jams himself into the doorframe and puts him down, clipping through both this minor basement and main star door to reach Dire Docks. Swimming forwards into this W on the wall, and pressing B to fly into the tunnel below and execute ship clip, navigating it normally, hugging the top left corner, and diving into the run's final star atop Bowser's submarine. Now, with a clear path to the second fight against Bowser in the Fire Sea, our runner ignores this platform and flies over the lava below, before lining up the pole glitch to skip it, diving up this moving ramp, wall kicking, flying straight around another pipe section, and soaring into the battle ahead, spitting Bowser into yet another explosion and collecting yet another key. Luigi unlocks the second door and clips through the roof to get to the second floor, wherein he uses a true stair BLJ on this staircase to make it to level 3, reaches the quote-unquote endless staircase and implements the same type of BLJ to one-tap into Bowser in the sky. Abusing these sideways and rotating platforms in tandem with the same kind of beast mode movements seen thus far, our runner finally lands in the third and final Bowser fight, exploding his ass 3 times more as the platform slowly disintegrates. Meaning Luigi can claim possibly the hardest fault world record in history with a final time of 14 minutes and 35.5 seconds. And that's time. A PB, sick. Okay, what's next? The GameCube? Hit my theme song because it's time for a vacation. Starting the clock at 5:40 after skipping the opening cutscene, Inkstar speaks to Peach and shoots across the airship to pick up Flood himself, triggering the first one-sided proto-piranha fight that ends with the game's first Shine Sprite that takes him to the now-eclipsed Delfino Plaza. Cutting this corner and triggering yet another proto, our runner defeats it as his statue re-emerges and Shadow Mario appears to take Peach with him, before he quickly catches up to him and follows them straight into Bianco Hills. As he slides and platforms through the village, reaches the pond and bounces off this pond skater towards the above windmill, wall jumping up its side and landing in a pity piranha boss fight. Ground pounding his stomach to send him straight to God and get a shine in return, Inkstar goes back to breeze through a usually hair-pulling sub-area and grabs red coins, redefeating the Gooper, reaching 5 shines, killing more protos to unlock Bianco Hills and Gelato Beach and entering the ladder. Sliding across the beach and picking up a coconut, our runner brings it towards the watermelon shack to set up Gelato Beach Skip, where he throws the coconut onto the roof, jumps after it and has it push him into the roof itself, where he can hover forwards and grab Episode 8's shine early. Moving on from the run's biggest skip that avoids World 3's first 6 episodes, Inkstar returns to drown Shadow Mario for Shine 7 and exits the level for now, before bouncing off this awning, spin jumping off this roof, and wall kicking off this invisible wall twice over to make this crazy jump onto the Shine Gate and into Pianta Village. Plunging chomplets into the water, clapping Il Pantissimo in 16 seconds, and using invincibility frames to cross the Inferno and save the village head, our runner herds a chain jump into a bath, clips through this tree to avoid wrangling a Yoshi, and lines up back-to-back chuckster throws. From here, he simply cleans up the island and catches Shadow Mario to round out the world's episodes. Approaching Pinner Park, Inkstar clips into this building and sidesteps, hovers and ground pounds to line up with this wall. Finally sidestepping left, hitting the death plane whilst triggering this transitional cutscene, skipping it altogether and shooting towards the park itself. Ignoring Shadow Mario as he restarts to begin the Mecha Bowser boss fight, our runner straight up destroys the robot before the roller coaster even loops, allowing him to join this mole, flambe the secret level, collect red coins, and sprout sunflowers as he reaches Chapter 5. Awakening Yoshi with a pineapple, he draws the aggro of a Soren stew and clips into this wall with Yoshi, turning the stew into a platform and riding it over to the carousel as he completes another secret level and chases down Shadow Mario. Backtracking to Ricco Harbour, Inkstar reaches this above platform early, frees the Gooper Blooper, and pulls on his face to defeat them instantly, as he obliterates this Blooper surfing maze without even surfing on one, cheeses this obstacle course to reach this cage, and dives through the third SL. Clapping the Gooper Blooper a second time, our runner surfs between 8 more red coins, destroys the 5th Shadow Mario, and returns to Bianco Hills, hitting up the first hidden challenge for Shine 28 and catching up to another of BJ's bastard clones as he leaves to save Yoshi and use him to reach Serena Beach. Spam spraying to vanquish the Men of Storm's duplicates, our runner uncovers the hotel and explores it through 5 of the 6 remaining episodes, bouncing off booze and spin jumping into this secret level, dropping this banana to clip through the wall, and entering the casino just to launch straight over the torturous tile puzzle into a second secret. Running it back to Moida King Boo with a combination of peppers and various fruits over 3 turns, Inkstar moves on to channeling his inner power washing simulator aficionado and tackling another fucking Shadow Mario, fuck off, which then has our runner look directly into the sun to reach Noki Bay. Climbing the trees, spinning wheels and cliffs of the level itself to defeat a Monty Mole as intended, our runner returns to clip into the ruins with a well-placed spring, grabs reds from this jar, cleans this grouper's teeth, and demolishes Il Pantissimo yet again. Rounding out the level and the game by putting both secret levels and Shadow Mario encounters to bed, our runner completes his set of 7th episode shrines and ends up with a total of 43, returning to Delfino Plaza and beating BJ into Mount Corona. Hopping in between patterns of spikes and flame platforms, Igstar jumps in this boat, shoots straight across the lava, and flies upwards into the penultimate boss fight. Encountering Bowser's bowl of soup, our runner quickly ground pounds its corners to flip it straight over into an anticlimactic finish. Saving his final shine sprite, rescuing Peach, and meaning our runner can call it here with a final time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 51 seconds. Wow, that took longer than I thought it would. Now, what's next? The Wii? Well, it's what you've all been waiting for, because it's time for Super Mario Galaxy. Starting the clock as the Star Festival begins, Tibbs long jumps through the castle grounds, encounters Bowser's armada of airships, and runs to Peach's aid as the castle is ripped out of the ground, sending Mario flying into the abyss as they wake up on Gateway Galaxy. Catching rabbits through the area as this structure appears, our runner speaks to Rosalina and takes this launch star into the rest of the level, grabbing star chips, manipulating gravity, killing a Goomba for a key, and walking across tiles for a grand star. As they reach the Comet Observatory and listen to Rosalina yet again, our runner jumps towards the terrace and enters the Good Egg Galaxy, before climbing this wall with co-star jumps to skip the entire level, nabbing more chips, changing orbit several times, and shooting towards the Dino Piranha. Defeating it with its own tail, Tibbs reaches 2 stars and comes back to abuse gravity several times for a third, letting him enter Honey Hive Galaxy, spin to scale this slope, and navigate trees with co-star to skip 90% of the stage and talk to Captain Toad. Going back inside, they repeat the same process whilst backflipping up the additional platforms and murdering the Mini and Mega Bugadooms to unlock Loop-de-Loop. While surfing on a mana ray, they collect every star bit in sight and hug corners like it's an Olympic sport, prior to flipping the switches of the Flip Switch Galaxy and unlocking Bowser Jr.'s Robot Reactor. Launching through the sky into the Mega Leg boss fight, Tibbs climbs the machine's legs and redirects his bullet straight into its weak spot, absorbing it into the core and opening the fountain whose first level, Space Junk Galaxy, he enters. Pulling themselves through the level and collecting silver stars to make an actual one, our runner shoots across the airship and destroys Carmella with green shells, clips through this planet into a warp star, and flicks into the Taratox boss fight that they pop with the co-star's help. Outside, Tibbs takes a quick detour to feed a hungry Luma 400 star bits and unlocks the Slingpod Galaxy, flinging through the level, flying across Battle Rock, backflipping to traverse this wall of cannons, and leading a Bullet Bill into Star 12. Coming back to Space Junk to speedrun a prior star, Tibbs takes on Rolling Green by precariously riding this ball across the area, before entering the Star Reactor, dying to reach the second checkpoint, enduring the direction-changing 2D section, avoiding firebars, encountering Lil Bowser and Beyblading him into an early grave. Dissolving another Grand Star to enter the kitchen, they enter Beach Bowl, bounce with 2-player to free Star 18, and snatch this penguin's golden shell for 19. Prior to breaking this wall, gliding upwards and navigating the Toxbox and Womp-infested Cyclone Stone for 20 and 21. Inside Ghost the Galaxy, Tibbs grabs a Rainbow Star to burst these boos and unlock this door, constructing this Warp Star as intended, landing on an invisible platform, wall jumping out of bounds, and coming back in bounds to collect Luigi's star. Gorging another hungry Luma to invade Sweet Sweet, long jump across his moving platforms, and grab Star 24, our runner races Cosmic Mario in Honey Hive and finds Luigi in Good Egg to reach 26. Back in the kitchen, our runner pulls himself through a race against the spooky Speedster and goes on to demolish the invisible floors and walls of the follow-up without the provided spotlights. Wall jumping with the Ice Flower and skating into the final dub of Beach Bowl, Tibbs lands in a bubble and blows himself through the level and 5 Warp Star chips, before simply jumping this wall to reach a total of 29 and unlock the Airship Armada, dealing with the auto-scroller Hindenburging BJ and unlocking the bedroom. Collecting music notes in Hurry Scurry and rescuing Luigi in Battle Rock, our runner kicks off the new nebula with the Freeze Flame Galaxy, catching penguins, climbing the Freezy Peak, defeating Baron Burr, navigating the Lava Core, and air stalling with a Fire Flower his first time round. Over in Gusty Garden, they float on flower buds, catch another rabbit, and get to 35, flying back into Freeze Flame and sliding on ice-covered lava, as they continue flip-flopping between the two. 3 tapping major burrows, going around the back of the peak, besting Cosmic Mario, channeling their inner secret level, and popping a golden chain jump. Sticking to the wall, facing upwards, jumping, holding A, and spinning to fly straight through the Honeyclimb Galaxy, our runner enters the 4th boss level, Dark Matter Plant, traversing its moving platforms, changing gravity, and acid pits as they spin Bowser's shit into another Grand Star. Inside the engine's Gold Leaf Galaxy, our runner collects blue chips, catches a rabbit, bounces between planets, climbs flowers, explodes moles, and speeds through music notes. Jumping over to Toy Time, where he blows up Robo Bowser 2.0 without the spring power-up, and collects Grey Stars across a big-ass Mario. Chasing Guppy through Sea Slide, they run it back to race both Penguins and Cosmic Mario, before going back into Toy Time to touch Charles amongst Tox boxes on normal and double speed. Blowing up an anchor with torpedoes to raise the required parts of the level, Tibbs co-star bounces up the side of Buoy Base, and ditches blue chips by swapping sides regardless for Star 57, re-entering to explode this cage and reach 58. For the remaining 2, our runner assassinates Gringills in Drip Drop and finds Luigi in Honey Hive, finally entering the Galaxy Reactor. Journeying to the center of the galaxy to enter Peach's castle suspended in space, they abuse these gravity spotlights, navigate lava, ice, and sand, dodge whomps and bullet bills through the spinning gauntlet, reaches the lizard himself and bashes them back and forth several times over, having him horrifically pulled into the lava below, triggering a server reset and meaning our runner Tibbs can finish his run after 2 hours, 19 minutes, and 34 seconds. The first 219XX in Galaxy history. And that's a time. Holy, look at those splits, that's some good shit right there. Decades of knowledge condensed into pure speedrun-based gaming you can probably take into real runs. Well, now that we're 3 for 3 on the series' greatest entries, we finally know what makes some of the most broken and while they have 3D Mario games of all time. Movement from both Mario and his bespoke game mechanics that are both amazing and deeply flawed on a fundamental level. And as someone who's played each of these games to death and consumed these runs for the better part of a decade, it's an understatement to say that they are the best parts of both the series and the space itself. And despite this video and these splits well exceeding the 10-minute cap it was originally meant to have, I hope I have at least shown you a glimpse at why runners like Luigi, Inkstar, Tibbs, and their many forefathers are some of the most talented parts of this entire community. Okay, now time to be a YouTuber. If you enjoyed this video, then feel free to check out my previous video on the many broken AF World Records of 2024's greatest games. In the meantime, if you want me to break down the speedrun of one of your favourite games releasing this year, then by all means suggest it in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next month. This is Orisaey, out.